If you do a Google search of gang stalking, you'll usually find articles like this near the top, and they go into detail about paranoid, schizophrenic, people suffering from psychosis, believing that the government, a cult, various groups in power are out to get them. So you'll have article after article of therapists and doctors and whoever saying, hey, there's this group of people online and this group of people saying that people are out to get them and they're delusional and it's scary that this many people are all, thinking the same thing. And hardly any, I mean, almost no information about actual gang stalking going on. If you do a little bit deeper dive, you will find legitimate cases. If you watch, there's a documentary that came out a couple of years ago. Maybe it was like 6 or 7 years ago now, but it's called Going Clear. It's on the Church of Scientology. And in that documentary, I've watched it several times, and they'll interview former members and people that were actually, involved in gang stalking. And the former members will confirm that their whole objective was to destroy the lives of the targets. And what that means is you isolate them, you slander their name, they ruin their reputation, try to ruin every relationship they have. Essentially, everything I'm experiencing. These guys have tried to, they've ruined my reputation. They've tried to turn everyone against me, including my own family. The final straw was they've been behind the scenes trying to make my son not want anything to do with me. I saw him recently for the first time in 5 years, and one of the little gang members' kids is friends with my son, and they essentially what they've tried to do is try to kind of erase me. And it's like some sick people. It's crazy that these people are known for being family oriented. They care a lot about their family, but they've shown. What kind of sick, disturbed, grown ass men try to turn a son against his own father? That's the kind of what I'm talking about. They've shown me time and time and time again that there is no line they won't cross. And for some reason, like I was saying, so many people have taken part in this witch hunt, and I don't get it. If people want to, play neighborhood watch or community police, there's a whole, and I'm not advocating for this, but I'm saying if you guys want to play community police, there's a list of bad people, really bad people online, and it has every city every state in this country, and that's what trips me out. And I'm going to touch more on that later, but this online community that is right at the top of the screen, it's a subreddit, and it's a community of people that claim to be gang stalked. And when I first found about it about 2 years ago, it seemed like it had some decent people, some relatively normal people on that subreddit. I used to go there and kind of connect with people somewhat, and then I would kind of listen to their experience or what kind of advice they had. But as of late, it's just is full of people, just trolls, people just coming in there to kind of, just say stupid shit, and that's about it. And then the people that are there for legitimate reasons are way, like suffering serious delusions, serious psychosis, so it doesn't really have any useful information for me. If you read some of the things that I'm posting, right, that you can see, people ask if it's satire because it's just so ridiculous. And I'm sure a lot of it is satire, but you can see a little bit here and there that it is legitimate people. A common belief in this community is V2K, and government, MK Ultra, and all that stuff, government, mind controlling, all that nonsense, and so I don't relate to any of it because mine is so black and white, it's like everyone that knows me knows my situation. I was with the gang member. Well, I didn't know she was until after we split up. and they felt some type of way. She's still in bad shape, and apparently, even though we split up almost 10 years ago, I'm still responsible for how her life turned out. But it makes it very hard to connect with anyone. Then you have this New York Times article where it's just talking about all these paranoid people and all this stuff, and it just is just destroying. I mean, is it just doesn't paint targeted individuals in a good light, and almost no articles do, and it just makes everyone claim to be gang stalk some nutcase, some crazy person that you should watch, and so it makes it very hard, to try to kind of find my community or find people to connect with. So unfortunately, I'm one of the pioneers in this because, I mean, I've said this several times, even a shitty federal agent, even a half-assed journalist, if you guys just do a little bit of research, a little bit investigating, you'll see that everything I'm saying is the truth. The only part in the Times Magazine article I could relate to was when the target said that her life was destroyed, and that's the only thing I can relate to is my life has been destroyed by these people. One thing I don't understand about these people is why do they think they can destroy lives and cause so much damage and not, at the very least, get exposed and at the most have their lives destroyed? It's kind of like living in like a fantasy. And then over the last 5 years, what these people have done, I made it very clear over the last 5 years to leave me alone, but more importantly, leave my family alone and to be impeccable with their word. And what I mean by that is do not spread lies. All these things, and I'm not going to start talking about the Bible or none of that shit. But a lot of these people claim to be Catholic or claim to be religious, and you don't have to be a Bible thumper to know that gossiping and spreading lies and all this is complete opposite of what God's teachings are. But that's the thing. All these people are the biggest frauds. I mean, I don't know how people can't see it. Because like I literally go places. I've literally moved around the world, and I really hoped when I moved to Europe that things would get better, but they didn't. In fact, they got worse. And then you could imagine what it was like in Southeast Asia. These people are able to call and contact and find it everywhere. And I'm going to go into more detail in my next video about the technology side that's making it very difficult to have any semblance of normalcy because of what's going on, and I'll go into the detail later. But there's a lot of people doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, and that's putting it mildly. But anyways, yeah, if you find anything on the subject of gang stalking, it's mainly people dismissing it as a bunch of paranoid, crazy people thinking everyone's out to get them. And I get that, because I mean, the basic foundation of gang stalking is a group of people watching you. So that plays right into paranoia. But in my case, it's not that deep. I have a believable story. Okay, you were with a gang member. Okay, so these gang members. Okay, yeah. And then I have proof. You can look at videos. If you look at my other posts, just the most recent thing. The video of me going to the storage unit and they're telling me that the cameras weren't working, and it's just lies. I have videos of the cops showing up even though I don't do anything. So there's something there. Besides, the world we live in with technology being what it is, it's really not that hard to stalk people. You can look up almost anything on anyone on the internet. I mean, all that information is readily available. Everyone this day and age is walking around with a recording device, in their pocket. And so if you have enough people doing it, and you have people working in the right positions, like say these gang members have a cousin or buddy that they went to high school with that works for law enforcement, and just maybe they have a friend or cousin or somebody's dating someone that works at one of these tech companies in San Francisco. I mean, you got to think of how many Mexican gang members are in San Francisco. In Northern California, there's a ton of them. Is it such a stretch that maybe some of them have a friend or family member working at one of these tech companies? Uber, Lyft. But I'll get into more detail in the next video. More than that, if a like I said, if a federal agent ever wanted to kind of do a little bit of homework, not even a lot, pull in some norteños. I'm sure you guys have some on paper, some documented gang members. Pull them in and go, hey, what's this guy saying? You guys are calling your buddies that work at Lyft or Uber or these different tech companies, and you guys are using your software to stalk and harass people. Here's the thing, they go around and brag about it. I mean, like, they make it easy. These guys are so busy showing off and trying to brag like, typical low IQ motherfuckers. So this isn't, you know what I mean? They go and brag. Oh, hey, we know somebody that works at TikTok. When I first heard that, I thought they were joking, but then a couple of things happened. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, they do have, but like I said, all this started in January 2020 after my home was broken into. All my personal information was compromised. And then say I do get a new phone number, I do get a new email. As soon as I give it to a friend or family member, they turn around and give it to these guys. And they're always asking, hey, what's his phone number? What's his phone number? Because you got to think your phone number is tied to all your social media, all your apps, right? You download the app and then they send you a secondary verification. So if you go through my Airbnb conversations with hosts or former hosts, hey, what's your phone number? Hey, do you have another phone? I mean, all the time. Because these people will contact my host no matter where I'm living. And for some reason, my host shares my personal information, even though I've talked to support time and time and time again. And you'll see in the other post detail of my reviews and my back and forth with former hosts. I mean, yeah, this is a joke. And that's why it kind of leads me to think that you have Airbnb employees that are sharing my personal information, or at least are aware of this and aren't being more proactive. If you read that second paragraph down, the quote, it's like hunted game. They didn't go on to say, we don't have a normal life and I don't think we ever will. That's exactly how I feel. If you jump down to the bottom, the last paragraph, we're talking about being humiliated, embarrassed, harassed, and all that. That's another quote that speaks to me. That's exactly what the experience is like, to just be attacked in every way imaginable. And you don't have anybody to fall back on. I mean, you're literally on your own, and that's all by plan. Like I said before, they try to turn all my old friends, even my own family, pretty sick and disturbed people too. But if we can expose them, or I can, then that'll be good.